started by a husband and wife team, and they sell crochet kits. You can't see it super well in this picture, but they have little cute animals and stuff that they teach you how to crochet. Here's a better picture of some of the cute little animals they have. This is not all of them, just a picture I took from their website. Back to business. So this couple was asking for $250,000 for 5% of their company, aka a $5 million valuation. A bit of a concerning number, but their total lifetime sales are $5.3 million, and then their year to date at this point was $3.1 million. So this caused a minor Shark Tank brawl. First, Kevin makes a deal. Barbara sees that deal and says, I will do the same equity, but $50,000 more cash. Lori sees Barbara's deal and says, I'll do the same thing as Barbara. Barbara doesn't like this though, so she lowers the equity. Lori says, I'll lower it the same amount. Then Barbara lowers again. But then a counter from the entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs look at Barbara and say, Barbara, will you add another shark to this deal? To which she looks at Mark and Mark says, hell yeah, I'll come in on the deal with you. It doesn't stop there though, because then they ask Lori the same thing. They ask Lori if she'll add a shark, and she adds Robert. It's a total, every shark is in at this point at some capacity. To make things even sweeter, Lori and Robert offer $450,000 for 6%, while Barbara and Mark are only offering $350,000 for 6%. Cheapskates, I'm just kidding. Then one of my favorite moments happened in such a long time on Shark Tank. They took a moment to talk, and then they countered and asked the teams to split up. They asked if Lori and Mark instead would come together to make a deal for them. And Barbara and Robert were obviously upset, but Mark and Lori were like, hell yeah, let's make that deal. And they ended up making a deal with the Woobles for $400,000 for 6%. I'm gonna give my final thoughts in front of these little cuties. Each of them are $30 to buy. They do include a crochet hook though, which I feel like a lot of starter kits fail to include that sort of thing, so that's nice. And also you can buy it without the crochet hook, which makes it only $25 instead of $30. I feel like that is kind of expensive. I know there's kits kind of like this at Michael's, but they do have a video, which I feel like is more helpful for people like me. I need a video to help learn. I can't just read a book. I think it's really cute. It's fun. We'll see where it goes from here. That's kind of all my thoughts. Let me know y'all's. See you at the next one, the banana phone. God. Brian and Max walked into the tank looking for $250,000 for 10% of their banana phone business, aka a $2.5 million valuation for a banana phone. A banana. Pretty much what it does is it looks like a banana and it Bluetooths to your phone so you can take calls through it. You can also use it to play music as a speaker. I feel like the speaker wouldn't be that great because the holes for the sound aren't very big. It just doesn't seem like it would work great for a speaker, and they didn't show it at all, so I can't say anything about that. They've been in business 6 years, and in that 6 years, they've managed to make $1.6 million for a $400,000 net. They cost $39.99, which to me just seems like way too much, especially just for what it is. If it was like $15, it'd be funny, maybe. I can't justify spending $40 almost on a speaker that's probably and a little phone that I maybe will use like twice as a joke. The Sharks also saw a lot of difficulties with it. They felt like the business was too small. They didn't like that the guys are wanting to go into brick and mortar stores. They'd rather them just stay direct to customer, which I also think makes a lot more sense. And they just thought it was too kitschy. And what were they going to do next? How is it scalable? So unfortunately, all the Sharks went out and they did not make a deal. I honestly overall don't have many thoughts about this product. I think it's kind of ridiculous. I get it. I think it's funny. I've seen it also too. I've seen videos from it when they came on the screen. I was like, oh, I have seen that product before. But again, $40? $40? I need to know that the speaker is like fantastic for it to be $40. This needs to be though, I could see it in like a Spencer's or a Hot Topic or I don't know, like Five Below. If they could get it in that $10 to $5 range and put it in Five Below, I think these things would just blow up and sell out. But at $40, I just don't see people buying that gag gift. Let me know what y'all think though in the comments below, and see you for our next one. Brian Twine and Kirk came into the tank, number 1, dressed like this, number 2, asking for $100,000 for 10% of their business. So this is the turbo trusser. I couldn't think of a better way to explain it than to have a picture of it in action, but pretty much if you've ever cooked like a whole chicken or turkey or whatever, there's a method that people do where they tie up the legs and whatnot with twine, and instead of having to tie it up with twine, this thing kind of holds it all together for you and apparently blocks one of the holes to help with. So I've never cooked a whole chicken or turkey, in case you can't tell. The turbo trusser costs $14.99 and they've had $90,000 in sales in the last 8 months. Sharks had their usual concerns. How many people actually are going to use this? Can you really tie yourself to like Thanksgiving and Easter so much that this becomes like a kitchen household staple? Is the business even big enough to invest in? And because of that, all the sharks pretty much went out, except where all the roads end up leading to, Mr. Wonderful. So we all know Kevin, of course, he wanted a royalty of $1 per unit in perpetuity, forever. And then also 33% of the business for $100,000. He wanted to be an equal bird, or he said something like that. The guys tried countering 4 different times, first being like, what about 20%? 25%? No royalty? 30%? Kevin said no to all that, though. He insisted he is Chef Wonderful. And in the end, the guys took the deal. Final thoughts. I don't have a whole lot of them because honestly, I've never had to cook a whole bird of any sort before. So I'm a pescatarian, I only eat fish, but I know about trussing and it looks very difficult. So I would love to hear if anybody's actually tried this thing, if it was really helpful or not. It looked easier than the videos I've seen with like people using twine and whatnot, but anyway, I hope these guys have a clucking great business, and I will see you for the next episode, which is Stealth Brothers and Company. See y'all there! So Braxton walked into the tank looking for $200,000 for 15% of his DOP kit business. If you're like me and never heard the word DOP kit before, that's totally fine. I Googled it. It's named after some man, but pretty much what it is like a toiletry bag, or in this case, a bag to hold medicine. So Braxton is a trans man, and when he was looking for something nice and neat to keep his testosterone vials and the needles and all that in, he couldn't find anything. So he developed Stealth Bro & Co. So aside from it just being a great bag to keep vials in and other needles and products like that, he also sells these little sharp shuttles that fit into the bags really well as a place to dispose of needles when you're done. If you don't know what a sharps kit is or a sharps container, pretty much it's a container to put used needles in, and there's really specific rules about how you can throw away needles and dispose of used needles, so this makes it nice and easy and portable. The little sharp shuttles are already labeled with the stuff that they're supposed to say, and they have a locking mechanism, so when you filled it up and put your last needle in it, there's a lock that doesn't unlock and you can just throw it in the trash, which I just think is so cool. So the kit is $34, but obviously you'll have to buy more sharp shuttles because those eventually go in the trash. You can buy them singularly for $4, or he has a pack of 5 for $15. Then the sharks asked about the name, and I'm just going to play the clip of him explaining the name because he'll do it better than I can.
I'll explain the name. Stealth is because I wanted people to be able to keep their medications discreet.
No, I get the stealth part.
Right.
Why the brothers and company and the
Bros
sword?
is, we're built on the foundation of the brotherhood of F to M, female to male brotherhood. And then N Co is N communities that we keep, our allied communities.
That's great.
And then the swords are there for because iron sharpens iron, and more than one community coming together makes you better and stronger. And that's
Do you have that up on your web?
Lori hears all this and decides he doesn't need a partner. He should just take this business and run. Robert thinks it's too small, and Kevin's out. That leaves Barbara and Mark. And even though Mark might have scorned Barbara on the Woobles deal, they come together to offer him $200,000 for 20% of his company, along with a $100,000 line of credit. Braxton knows it wouldn't be Shark Tank without a little counter, so he tries for 18%. They're not into it, and Braxton is fine with it, and they make a deal. I just think this is really cool. I used to have to take allergy shots, and they came in little vials, and I always had to dispose of the needles, and it was always just like, felt like a big production to travel with it, just to do anything. It was always so much, and it would have helped so much to have one of these. So I think this is a great idea. I think Mark is a great partner to have, considering he has his cost plus drug company. I'm just very happy for Braxton, and let me know what y'all think in the comments. On to episode 3.